Welcome to the March the 3rd taping, 1986, the sesquicentennial week of 1986. And we've had a splendid kickoff to that, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But before we do, we'd like to bring you some community service announcements. First of all, we'd like to welcome a brand new editor of the Grand Prairie Daily News coming on board this very Monday. Welcome to the new editor, Chuck Baldwin. There will be a reception this very evening for Chuck, and also a farewell to Ruth Ann Brockway, who's been very splendid as the editor of the Grand Prairie Daily News. So let's look forward to meeting Chuck Baldwin on our show, and welcome, Chuck, to our wonderful city of Grand Prairie, Texas. Next, congratulations are in order on the 50th wedding anniversary for two wonderful couples in Grand Prairie, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Mays. Thomas and Sally have been in Grand Prairie quite a number of years, have 3 children, 5 grands, and 2 great-grands. Also, Mr. and Mrs. J.C. Roderick, and they celebrated their 50th yesterday, and they have 2 sons and 2 daughters. And of their 2 daughters, one is a Grand Prairie resident, Judy Word, and also Joy Earhart of Laredo is their other daughter. They have 4 grands and 1 great-grandchild. That is wonderful. Congratulations to these 2 wonderful couples of Grand Prairie people. Congratulations are also in order to Martin Frost's choice for alternates to West Point. Don Weber of Grand Prairie High School has been selected, and South Grand Prairie High School has 3 representatives in the alternate selection: Doug Moore, Tommy Murphy, and Darren Barker. This is wonderful. Also, an alternate was chosen to the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Devin Ferris of Grand Prairie High School. Congratulations, and who knows, one of the first choices may be on to another college, and you may have your opportunity, young man. Congratulations to the city of Grand Prairie. We are so pleased. For another year, Grand Prairie is the National Arbor Day Foundation has notified us that Grand Prairie is once again a Tree City USA. And we are one of the 5 cities in the state of Texas that has that status. And congratulations to Mr. John Sellers of the Parks Department and all those that make this possible. The school report is out, and if you do not have your copy of the school report, please go by the school administration and pick it up, because it's a real grand one telling all about the sesquicentennial activities and etc. And mentioning the sesquicentennial, you'll see that we have our Texas flag, our U.S. flag, and our brand new sesquicentennial flag that we're flying today as a special salute, because March the 2nd, which was Sunday, we had all of these wonderful observances: the birthday cake with 150 candles on it at City Hall, the flying of the youth flag, and then we all adjourned to the community center where we saluted past school board members with a wonderful reception. Peggy Ellard and all of her crew did a remarkable job at this, and if you did not attend, we wanted to let you know that this was one of the official sesquicentennial happenings in our city. Mark your calendar, please, for the Grand Prairie Crime Commission. Their quarterly meeting is scheduled for March the 11th. That's at 7:30 a.m., early in the morning, at City Hall. O.L. Watson of Tarrant County is going to be the guest speaker. And now to our first guest for this time. We're so glad, Vernon Campbell, that you're here, and you're wearing, instead of your M-Bank hat, that wonderful bank down on the corner in downtown Grand Prairie, you're wearing the hat for the Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Ruthie. I'm glad to be here.
All right, now, you're carrying the banner of the Card Connection, but we're also going to ask you some more questions after you bring us that. What on earth is the Card Connection? Tell us a little bit about that, would you?
Well, the Card Connection is a subcommittee established for the Chamber of Commerce to designate certain meetings about every 6 weeks to allow members and businesses throughout the community to come together, and it is somewhat of a social, but to exchange cards and to help develop a network of businesses in our community.
All right, now, if I am not a member of the Chamber, but I have all this stack of business cards and I want to come and be a part of this, is there a fee that's charged me for coming into this? And may I come in cold turkey without being a member of the Chamber?
Yes, you may come in. Of course, the purpose of the meeting is to introduce new members to our Chamber of Commerce. And I would dare to say that if you come in and not a member of the chamber, we would definitely solicit your membership prior to leaving.
Wonderful. All right, now, this time, now, as the chairman of this committee, do you like to name drop some of the members
I sure
of your
would.
committee? Okay.
We have several people involved with this committee who have just done an excellent job. Diane Alden, Becky Wilson, Doug Sweeney, and Rita Murray. Diane Alden and Rita Murray were very helpful in setting up our first meeting, which was held at M-Bank Grand Prairie. And we had approximately 100 people turn out.
How wonderful.
For the first card connection. We think it was a real good success, and particularly Diane Alden has worked real hard as far as coordinating our future meetings. And of course our next meeting will be held and sponsored by Graphic Mailers Inc. Some of our sponsors will be Woodcrest Country Club, Independent American Savings Loan, Cecil Bartlett Developers, and we've had a real good response in the community about people wanting to sponsor these card connections.
Wonderful. Now, when they sponsor, this not only means that they have the place, but you have all of these other good amenities there, right?
Right. They also are responsible for serving the refreshments and the hors d'oeuvres, and also we ask that the sponsor provide their own MC for the program, and of course there are door prizes at each card connection. So it's a real good opportunity to meet new members in the Chamber of Commerce and also to visit with local members.
If I wanted to find my way this next time to the Graphic Mailers, who is the host, could you tell me the address, the direction I would need to go, and what it'll cost me to get into this card connection?
Okay. They are located on North Carrier Parkway.
How far north is North
Well,
Parkway?
they are located off of Dalworth. I don't have their exact address,
all right.
but we will send out a mailing through the Chamber of Commerce to each of the members and new members giving the exact address. There are no fees to come. Now, now some of the future meetings that we will have, there may be a nominal fee to come in. It shouldn't be any more than $5 per person to come to one of these meetings to help offset some of the costs for the hors d'oeuvres and refreshments.
All right, now before we get into maybe talking about your next general membership meeting or maybe Western Days, I'd like for you to look right out into your camera and just really invite anyone that you think would be welcome to your wonderful card connection, and give us that date.
Well, our next card connection is on March the 20th. We would like to invite any person who's interested in joining the Chamber of Commerce, and of course all members of the Chamber of Commerce, to come to this function. Now, I think it'll be a great opportunity to meet new people in the community and give you the opportunity to exchange your business card and tell a little bit about yourself.
That's wonderful. Now that we've gotten the card connection out and we know that this is a good time to come and network and really get ourselves known, and especially if we're a new member of the Chamber of Commerce, your next membership luncheon is at the Flagship Inn, and can you give us the magic date for that?
The next membership luncheon, will, as you said, will be at the Flagship Inn, and the date is April the 9th.
April the 9th. And all right, do we meet at 11:30 or maybe 11:45?
I would suggest if you want to come early and to visit members of the Chamber of Commerce, be there approximately between 11:30 and 11:45.
That sounds like a good time. All right. The Chamber of Commerce, you've been involved in it a couple of 3 years to my knowledge. Tell me what's going on for Western Days. Can you give us the magic dates?
Well, the dates for the upcoming Western Days will be May the 10th to May the 18th. And of course, this is co-sponsored with the Wranglers and the Grand Prairie Rodeo Club. Of course, that is our primary event will be the Western Days Rodeo, which is held each year at Traders Village.
Good. And we want everyone to just think about blocking all of that entire week out for Western Days and all the activities, and we're going to have someone on the show, both from the Wranglers and the Chamber of Commerce prior to that. Well, Vernon, we want to thank you very much for being with us, and one more time, look out and say, bring your cards and come be with us.
Bring your cards and come to the Business Cards Connections. We're looking forward to having you there.
The magic date and the place?
The next date is March the 20th. It will be held at Graphic Mailers Inc., and they are located on Dalworth Street.
132 West North Carrier.
Okay.
That's the magic place. And we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Georgia Clemson,
And I'm Gary Lyles.
and we're here to tell you all about Showfest 86. Tell them about it, Gary.
Showfest 86 Showfest 86 is coming up on March the 14th and 15th in Chambers Auditorium. Both performances will be at 8 o'clock. Showfest 86 is being produced by Incredible Productions out of Dallas. And go ahead, Georgia.
Let's see, it's a joint effort with the Junior Women's Club and the Women's Club and the Grand Prairie Arts Council. And some people call Showfest maybe a musical variety show.
However, though, it may be also called a talent show. We've held auditions and have picked many, many talented people throughout the city to perform for us that evening. Also, members of the Women's Club, Junior Women's Club, and Arts Council are going to be participating in joint groups. So that would kind of make it, I think, a circus.
Wait a minute. The Arts Council calls it a jubilee.
Or even a festival. After all, it's Showfest.
Yeah, a celebration even.
A celebration, even kind of a revival of the old Oopsie Daisy.
That's right. And it will be held, as we said, the 14th and 15th of March. You may get your tickets at the Chamber of Commerce or at Independent American or from any member of the Women's Club, Junior Women's Club, or the Grand Prairie Arts Council.
Tickets are $6 a piece. They are on sale at several other financial institutions across the city. Any cast member has plenty of tickets, and they are willing to sell them, believe me.
We hope that everyone will come out to see Showfest 86. You will be so glad you did, right, Gary?
Yes, and we're going to fill that auditorium for an evening. We're out to prove that there is art in Grand Prairie of many, many forms.
Welcome back to the show, and our next two guests are so very, very exciting. You're going to meet from the Grand Prairie Genealogical Society, Faye Chisholm, the president, and one of her stem-winding chairman, Deb Copeland. Faye Chisholm, what are y'all doing in the genealogical field nowadays, please?
Okay, we're getting ready for our Everton workshop, Ruthie. We're really excited about that. That's going to be the 29th of March, and we're expecting around 250 people to attend.
Now, you said the Evertons with a sort of reverence. What does that mean to an ordinary lady like me that has probably never heard of the Evertons? Explain a little bit of that to us, and maybe those in video land that may want to know that.
Okay, Ruthie, the Evertons are a branch kindly of the Latter-day Saints Church, and as you know, the Mormons are really into genealogy, and they have the records of a lot of counties, a lot of people's history. If you research your ancestors, you can turn them into them, and they keep all this data. They have the largest center for genealogy data in the world. And the Evertons is kind of the working branch of the Mormon Church in that respect.
Well, I'm so glad you explained that to just a layperson that may not be just as much into genealogy as you all are. Now, Deb, what is your role in this workshop?
I am chairman of the speaker committee, therefore I am handling the arrangements for Mr. and Mrs. Flora and Priest, who are our speakers that are coming in here. Mr. and Mrs. Priest are from Logan, Utah. They have published a number of articles, written a number of books. They're going to be probably the most exciting people that we've had here to genealogy in Grand Prairie, and to help us do with this, they're going to be covering 4 major subjects when they're doing their talking.
All right.
We're going to be having why I can't find that elusive ancestor, and they are something else. I have ancestors running all over that I can never find. The 4 dimensions of a search, exactly what steps you're going through, how to document your data when you're having a search or looking for that ancestor. Understanding and using genealogical records in the United States. We find that we have a lot of records available to us that we never even use, like land records and deed records and all type of data that nobody has ever used. And then finally, we're going to do a topic on how to do effective research in America. A lot of us can find information about our ancestors right here in the United States without even going overseas, so it makes it most interesting. Of course, you might have to travel a little bit, because that's a lot of the fun that we have.
All right. Now, Faye, in your role as the president, Are you finding that this is catching on in your reorganization of the Grand Prairie Historical or Grand Prairie Genealogical
Yeah.
Group? You formerly were historical
Yes,
and
we were.
genealogical, and now you've changed your name.
Yes.
All right.
Well, we do mainly deal with genealogy.
Yes.
But genealogy is history,
Yes, it
Ruthie.
is. Mhm.
And we found that we're bringing different programs, more exciting programs. We try to have the best speakers. We've had Mr. Lloyd Bachstrock in, and just at our last meeting, we had a lawyer. And to help us celebrate the sesquicentennial of Texas, a different member of our society each month is going to tell about their Texas ancestor or a noted Texas ancestor.
All right, now I believe you have a meeting scheduled for this very week that we're doing this taping on Monday. When is your meeting this week?
Okay, it's Thursday night.
Thursday night, and where do you meet this Thursday night?
Okay, it's St. Andrew's Parish Hall. We have moved from the library. We've outgrown the library.
Now, St. Andrews is over on Small Hill Drive and in that area?
Yes, up behind the 7-Eleven that's located on Carrier Street.
All right, and is that open to the public, that
Yes,
meeting?
it is, yes.
And are you looking for new members?
Yes, we are, always.
Would you like to drum everyone in
Yes,
Grand
yeah.
Prairie about becoming a member?
Yes, we'd like to invite you to come out this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We're going to have a Texas birthday party. We're going to have cake and this kind of thing, and one of our members is going to be talking about Stephen F. Austin, the father of Texas, and his role, and another one of our members is going to be telling about his own Texas ancestor. And even though you don't have a Texas ancestor, come on out, because a lot of people don't.
All right, now, do you keep this captive audience there forever, or is there a real chop-off time when you let everyone go home?
Okay, we try to quit around 9 o'clock, and then I shoo you out by 9:30.
By 9:30, you must be out of the hall.
Yes.
All right. Well, now let's get back to Deb. Deb, I know that, why did you get interested in this very exciting subject of genealogy?
Well, I'm an only child, and I went through life not having any brothers and sisters, and I only knew one of my grandparents. And I got the feeling that one of these days I ought to know where I came from. And Daddy had always told great stories as I was growing up as bedtime stories. Rather than the three bears, I heard about him growing up. And I just found it most interesting. And so I started digging around, and I first started by looking through phone books, and I have a rather unique spelling to my name. So I started by looking through phone books and finding out how many people that I could have the same spelling in the name. And I found that all of them are relatives. I have not found somebody that spells their name the same way. And so anybody out there that spells their name K-O-P-L-E-M, please let me know. I'm looking for you. And I just had the most interesting time, and I find out that my great-grandfather has come over from Prussia. He served in two armies, one in the Civil War and then one in the Prussian army. And I have found out the nice thing I think is keeping me interesting is not only finding out about my relatives, is the fact that I'm right in the middle of a mystery story. I mean, if you like to do mysteries, well, you get into genealogy, because then you have one that's all through your own. You just cannot believe. I mean, I have got mysteries running around. I've got one grandparent buried in the Methodist cemetery and his wife married over in the Baptist cemetery, and this isn't a little town of 200 people. I mean, this is real strange, and I don't know why my great-grandfather came here to the United States. Was he run out because he was a deserter from the army? Or it's the most invigorating thing, because if you like mysteries, you can't help but like genealogy, because you're in the middle of one, and these are talking about people that you know, and it's the most interesting.
I would say it is also a treasure hunt, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, most so. We have, you never can tell what you can find out. I was digging the other day, excuse me, and I went up and found my dad's first cousin that he never knew he had up in Minnesota. And I'm one of those type of people that don't have a Texas relative, except those that's living in here. And I don't know if you can see this, but this happens to be a passport issued by Prussia, which is no longer a country, of course, in 1851.
How exciting.
And I found this up in a little metal box of my dad's first cousin. She didn't know what she had. And they brought this out, and they said, oh, isn't this interesting, and what are we going to do with this kind of piece of paper? And so they gave it to me. Lo and behold, I took it. And then I have some other neat documents that I found were most interesting in that same box. This one's real faint, but this one's also issued in 1858, and it's an application for citizenship to the United States from my great-grandfather.
How splendid.
So that's sort of a historical document, I think.
I think that is a treasure.
I think so. And these people had no idea what they had in their box.
Isn't that exciting?
Now this one is really torn up, But this happens to be a marriage certificate, and it's between my great-grandfather and my great-grandmother, and it's issued also in 1858. And this type, if you notice, we have all of our documents are covered with plastic. The reason we're doing this is to preserve them, because most paper has got a very high acid content. So these are a way you preserve paper. And if you have old paper at home and you're not into genealogy, the wisest thing I can say for you to do is don't take it up and put Scotch tape and that type of stuff on it. Go and get you from any paper store. They will have acid-free paper, and at least try to preserve these documents, because if you're not into genealogy, some of your kin may be, and be very interested in this type of paper. So take them out of your mailboxes, but save them. And for goodness sake, never throw away old documents like this, because they can be very important to somebody. Or old Bibles, because they're just fascinating.
You know, when Deb said that we would run out of time because she would never quit talking, I almost believe that, Faye. But Faye, you're going to have to look out into your camera now and tell us a little bit about your relative, of the sesquicentennial research that you've done that you're going to be reporting on real soon. Just a little sketch of that.
Okay. His name was Dr. William Mitchell Owen, and he first appears in Texas in 1844 in Titus County, and he is the first doctor in that county.
Where is Titus County?
Okay, it is Mount Pleasant. There's a little spring that runs through there called Delwood, and you'll find, anytime we find him, he's always along the river. Always along the river. And then he moves from there down to Georgetown, and he's in Georgetown before there is a Georgetown. And he's practicing medicine there, still the only doctor. And then later he moves over to Bastrop County. And in my documents that I found is where he had land given to him by Sam Houston.
Wonderful.
And his house at Round Rock is a Texas historical marker designated. It's on Chisholm Trail.
Wonderful.
And it's a big rock house, 2-story there, and it says that, you know, he lived there. It's called the Owen House, and I've lost him. He's alive in 1883 because he has an ad in the Georgetown newspaper that he's practicing medicine for female ailments. And then he just vanishes.
Do you think maybe he went to the gold rush or something exciting
Well,
like that?
he was born in North Carolina, went to Kentucky, and then he was in St. Joe, Missouri about the time that people were making a decision whether to go west or come down to Texas. And I wonder if he was not influenced by Stephen Austin, because Austin was also educated in Kentucky and would be about the same age person. And so it's not beyond him to have packed up and moved on. One reason I started this was kind of to know who I am, what things make me the way I am, and I always love to travel. And I found out in genealogy that the people, the Celts, like the Irish and the Scottish, they're the ones who came and explored, and then the English are the ones who came and established the towns. So I would think from the Scottish blood in Owen's side that that's maybe why I like to travel.
Wonderful. Now tell me this, Faye. Do you think that you would continue to give this much time to this if you had come to just a dead end and you said, I'm just going to give up on my grandfather and not go any farther?
Well, Ruthie, sometimes I do come to a dead end, and I let him lay there for a while, and then maybe 6 months later I will have formulated what I think happened. And if they were here then or there, then I can put the pieces together kindly and go on from there. Now, he is a dead end, but then I have other aspects like my husband's family that I'm working on.
All right.
So I work a little while on one, and then maybe I hit a cold trail, and then I'll go back to the other.
And have you pursued as far as you can the next census report after you have lost him in the U.S. Census?
Yes.
And you've not found him?
Because what happened was in 1880, we have a 20-year skip because the 1990 census was destroyed. 1890, sorry about that. 1890 was destroyed. And so you have a 20-year span, and he was born in 1830, so he's getting to be an old man.
Yes, he is.
And possibly in that 20-year span, he has died.
And so you're just going to continue researching
Yes.
old cemeteries until you
Well,
find...
and telephone books.
Yes.
Deb mentioned that, and I never fail to go to a town that I don't look in the telephone book for the names that I'm looking for.
I thought of you this morning when I read my weekend paper. It says, almanacs are a good source of genealogical data. Have you thought about looking him up in an almanac? So I'm going to give you this little pamphlet right here,
okay,
and you
thank
get
you.
into the almanacs, and if you don't find your grandfather, you're going to have to get Deb and I to help you, because with Deb's enthusiasm and some of our tenacity, we'll help you find your grandfather if he can be found. But let's go back over to Deb just a minute. Deb, do you want to look out into your camera and maybe just tell everyone how exciting it would be if they would come and spend this workshop time, and tell them how long during the day that will be on that magic date?
Okay, the workshop is on March the 29th. It starts at 8:30 in the morning with registration. We hope to be through about 4 o'clock. There will be lunch involved with it. We will furnish the lunch. It is a working workshop. So you be prepared to come and work with us. Bring all you know about your families. It is $18, which is a most advisable. We've got a poster here that tells you all about it. Here's where you write. Please note that post office box. It's 532026 in Grand Prairie. The zip is 75053. If you just like to send your $18 and a list of 5 surnames with their county and state where you last heard of them, or even anywhere would be just fine, we'd love to have you come out. It's going to be a very casual workshop, but it will be very hardworking, and it's not going to be all lectures, because we'll have over 300,000 names to recognize and to work with that are coming from the Evertons, which will be an absolute wealth of genealogical data. So we'd love to have you come out. It's going to be a great workshop, and it's going to be down at the LDS Church at 2010 South 8th Street.
All right.
South Carrier.
South Carrier.
Blew that one off. didn't I?
South Carrier.
South Carrier.
Give us that magic address again.
2010 South Carrier Parkway at the Church of the Latter-day Saints, and that's March the 29th on Saturday from 8:30 in the morning until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you will find you won't have enough time.
If I don't have my 5 surnames to send with my $18, would you accept my $18
I'll
anyway?
accept anything.
Wonderful, wonderful. Faye, one last pitch. We have about a minute and a half left.
Okay,
And
let me tell you one thing that happened in our society that
All right.
maybe will recommend it to you. One evening, this lady who's in our society walked up to me and said, Faye, didn't your mother go to school at Leonard and Celeste, that area? And I said, yes, she did. And she said, here's the school picture. And my mother's in that picture, and so I got to looking, and I found not only my mother in that picture when she was about 12 or 13 years old, but also 4 of her brothers and sisters and 3 cousins. And this was just a picture a lady who's a member of our society had, and I think that could recommend it to someone else. We work together. Everyone is working together in it.
all right, now, Faye, I would like for you to tell me this. If someone in our audience wanted to join your group, I'd like for you to tell them the fee and tell them where to send it and all of the good things about your meeting.
Okay. We meet on the first Thursday night of every month. The fee is $10 per year, and you can send that to Post Office Box 532026, Grand Prairie 75053.
And we're just going to have to wind this off, and it is so exciting. I know everyone in our audience is going to want to come to the Everton workshop, and if they don't, it's going to be their loss, and I want to thank you all for being on the show.
Thank you.
It's wonderful having you all with us.
Thank you, Ruthie. And we'd like to give a donation to your scholarship fund, and thank you for having us.
Oh, wonderful, super. I know our boys and girls that do our camera will enjoy that scholarship at the end of the year, and this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you, and would you join me? It's happening in Grand Prairie.